Hello, my name is Igor Volodkin. I'm a fine arts teacher and a practicing artist as well. I paint pictures. My paintings are exhibited in various galleries. You may please kindly visit my page on the internet at my website volodkinart.ru online to see my works there. Today we're going to talk, probably the most important thing in the visual arts, about perspective in drawing. Drawing is primarily about comparing, perceiving, and I'd say reading visual information correctly. It is very important to learn to identify the dot at which all the lines would converge. On the horizon line of the picture plane, we're going to talk not about perspective itself right now, but about accurately perceiving and reading visual information correctly. An artist should be able to recognize that one single dot on the picture plane, at which several lines converge. For example, a cube has 4 edges, so there are 4 lines there which converge at this very single dot. The dot can be placed anywhere far on the horizon line. So any artist should be able to identify this dot and to visualize all the lines at once there. And if we're going to talk about so-called severing, we'll get 18 parallel lines there, which should also be brought together by the artist at one imaginary dot, placed on the horizon line. But I'd prefer to start with teaching you to visualize correctly a straight line, one single line, which we are going to draw. Unfortunately, a starter artist constantly tries to control the motions of his hand. A starter artist always controls his hand to very carefully paint a line right in the middle and precisely by watching the edges of the picture plane. But that's not quite right. One should learn to look at that very dot, which our hand needs to get into at the end. So, to practice that, let's do one exercise. Let's draw one dot on the piece of paper, and let's draw one more dot there. Now look what is going to happen. At my previous lessons we learned that when we start to draw a line, our hand should start to move in the air. So the line is, you see my hand is moving in the air at first. Then I lower the line, lower my hand with a pencil in it, touch the sheet of paper and keep on drawing the line, which later on will go way up into the air. Therefore we draw our line in both directions. But it's very important to understand the principle of seeing. So when my hand is up, you see, my eyes always look at the very dot, which my hand needs to get to at the end. I look at that very dot, and I pay no attention to my hand. This is how I draw a line here. I keep on just in the same way. My pencil is down, my hand is up, and I am drawing a line here. Let's repeat this process, dividing it into several steps. 1. We look down. Then we start drawing a line. 2. We look up and keep on drawing the line. 3. We are looking down and start drawing a line. 4. We are looking up and keep on drawing the line. I recommend you to do this exercise as often as possible. Even if you're already a practicing artist and you paint pictures, depict complex objects in complex forms. It never hurts to master your skills. Once again, let's draw a line step by step. Let's mark dots in different parts of the picture plane. My hand is up. My eyes are looking down. I am looking down at the dot. My hand is moving down, then it is moving up. Then my eyes are looking down. My hand is going up. Then my eyes are looking down. My hand is going up. When we want to depict a cube, let's draw it right here. We should draw vertical lines. And this is where we need to visualize the line that will be drawn at a certain angle to the horizon line. Let's draw it now. Here the next line goes, which we should draw. But we should look beyond the line that we are drawing. We are looking at the line that we have just drawn below. Let's break this down into steps. At first we pay attention to this line and we are drawing the upper line here. But we should draw the upper line, exactly according to the technique which we used when we did the exercise. I am looking at this very dot. I place my hand here. Next step, I am looking at that very dot, which my hand should reach at the end. Therefore, again, I am looking right at the point which my hand should come into. Whoosh. Now I'll draw additional lines while drawing the cube. The first line, the second line. These 2 lines will also converge in one and the same dot. When I am drawing this line, my eyes and my thoughts all are directed to that very dot which my pencil should go into. You should learn to trust your hand. It's not that hard because it's a natural condition. We think that our hand does not paint the way we want it to, but it simply happens only because we just don't trust our hand. Now we need to draw additional lines here. There's only two of them, the first line and the second line. In this case, when I start drawing the lower line, I should look at that distant line. I should visualize it and visualize the correct dot there. And now I am drawing the line, which is actually the third rib of my cube. The line which is placed in the middle of the cube automatically hits to our attention zone. There is only one more line left to draw for me. The line which will converge with the previously drawn three lines at one and exactly the same point. One should visualize together at the same time. So we're looking at the sidelines. The middle line hits to our attention zone automatically. And while visualizing the very dot where all the lines would converge, we start drawing the fourth line here. Now let's limit the space with vertical lines. To finish drawing the cube, we need to draw the last line in the middle. We should draw this line exactly the same way. I'm looking at the other side of my cube while drawing its farther rib. Only the middle line is left for me to draw here. I am doing exactly the same. I lose my focus. I pay attention to the sidelines, and at the same time I start to draw the line. The middle line automatically hits in my attention zone. I am drawing line now. My eyes, by the way, go ahead of my pencil. I'm looking at the dot, where my pencil goes into at the end. While I drawing line, when you release your consciousness from controlling the motions of your hand will start obeying the commands of your brain. And now there is only one vertical line left for us to draw here. It is going to be the vertical rib of the cube. This is the technique that a professional artist utilizes in order to view the image he is drawing, but suggest doing one exercise to learn to view many lines simultaneously. Just simply draw two lines on a piece of paper. The lines which will be directed to the right and which will converge somewhere far, far, far away. Next, you should mark three more lines at the bottom or on the right, and three more lines on the left. This process is actually similar to the process of drawing a cube. So, while drawing the line which is positioned above on the left, we should keep on looking at the opposite far line. The middle line here hits automatically our attention zone. Our vision goes in the opposite direction against the movement of our pencils. We visualize the line and we visualize the dot, which our pencil needs to get into. If you follow these recommendations, guidelines, and suggestions, you will learn to draw such lines easily. Many different lines which all converge in one single point. So my next step is, I have drawn a line above on the left side. I am going to draw the next line below, but at first I'm comparing it to the far line that I've drawn. And again, these two lines hit my attention zone. In this case, there is no problem directing the lines to one and the same dot, if you look at them correctly. And so this is how we do this exercise up to the end. The more lines you manage to see simultaneously, I mean the sidelines which converge at one and the same dot, the more correctly you'll manage to depict linear perspective on your picture plane. Let's continue now. I am drawing the next line here. I am looking at that distant dot and drawing a line. All other lines converge at one single dot. I'll do the same while drawing the other lines. Let's do it once again. I recommend you to do two exercises. One exercise will train your skill not to control your hand. So you mark one dot here and another dot there. Mark them in areas of the paper, just anywhere to do it vertically. Your hand is up, your eyes are down. I'll show you the process step by step. Step 1, you look down. Step 2, you are drawing a line. Next, the third step, you look at the dot which your pencil needs to go into. The fourth step, you are drawing a line. And by repeating this whole cycle 8-10 times, when you perhaps let your eyes go forward ahead of the pencil, you will learn to compare different lines as well as to compare directions. And thus, you won't have a problem with linear perspective. Just keep on mastering your artist vision, and you're going to make it. I am Igor Volodkin. Have a good day.